Hi everyone, my name is Putri Sofia Amiruddin. I'm a senior law lecturer as well as program director for Master of Laws programs at Taylor's University. We are now at a challenging yet interesting time where all of us are confined to our homes, but we are very productive working from home. Interestingly, I've observed that there are so many lawyers out there taking the extra initiative to organize various webinar sessions to share their insights as well as knowledge with regards to the current issues to the members of the public who wish to learn. Chu Diwei has kind enough to ask if I can share my best practices as well as some tips to all the lawyers out there who wish to enhance their presentation skills when they deliver virtually. As such, it is my pleasure to share 9 tips on how can a person deliver a successful virtual presentation. So the lists are as follows. For the host of the webinar session, it is good if the organizer able to choose which platform to use. There's also tips with regards to the utilization of waiting room. There are tips with regards to appearance, timing, environment, the use of webcam as well as microphone, eye contact, pace of delivery, as well as projecting slides. So let's look at tip number 1. For the host of the webinar session, it is good if you know who are your audience going to be, because it is important to determine whether or not certain institution or organization allows or prefer certain types of online platforms. So if you want to attract more participants, so it's good if you can actually gauge or assess the background of the participant. Some organization or participant preferred Zoom, some preferred Webex, some preferred Google Meet. So I've tried all of the online platform, and personally, I enjoy use Zoom. It is pretty safe for me, as well as enjoy Google Meet. It's because when I deliver my presentation, there'll be a subtitle. There's an option to enable subtitle, which will appear at the bottom of the screen, which is pretty cool. For tip number 2, concerns the enabling or utilization of waiting room. So this is important for the organizer of the webinar session to select the option of waiting room to ensure there's no Zoom bombing, for example, or to ensure that there's no uninvited guests that come and join the session. Tip number 3 concerns the appearance. It is good if for the speaker can dress up professionally, because I've attended webinar where a lawyer dressed up very casual. You have to remember, you're actually a brand. You're representing yourself, you're representing your position, you're representing your law firm. So if you can dress up very professionally, you will appear appealing to the audience, because you don't know who are all these audiences are, you don't know their backgrounds. Some of them might looking for lawyers to advise on certain things, so it's good if you can dress up professionally. So it is also good if you're able to smile throughout your presentation, but of course this depends on the content or topic of your presentation itself, because what I've observed is that sometimes the surrounding circumstances can make a presenter feel stressed, and as an audience, I can feel the stressness of the presenter. So just remain calm, remain composed, and take one thing at a time, step by step. So because all of us are very understanding, so just keep on smiling so that you'll be able to sustain the interest of the participant, and also to ensure that they remain in the webinar session. And for the last bullet point concerns for the presenter to be passionate as well as excited with regards to the content of his or her presentation. Because when you're passionate about the topic of your presentation, so does the audience, and the audience will become attracted to the area of presentation, as well as be able to remain throughout the webinar session. Tip number 4 concerns the timing. So this applies to both the organizer as well as the speaker. For the organizer of the webinar session, you need to be mindful that most of us who are confined to our homes, we have our family members. It is good if it can be done after lunch, when, let's say, for example, children, they have all eaten and well rested. Some of the family members are taking naps, so it's mostly quiet time in order to deliver a webinar session. And also for presenter, it is good if presenters can stick to the timing, because if a person speaks longer than the allocated timing, it will delay the presentation of other speakers as well. I've attended a webinar session where it's supposed to end after 1 hour, but it got extended for 3 hours. It's because when one speaker extended his presentation, then the other speakers will think, oh, okay, if he can explain more than 10 minutes, so can I. So then it became longer than allocated timing. Tips number 5 concerns the environment itself. So you have to ensure that the environment around you is brightly lit. So change the light bulb if necessary to ensure that you utilize or use the light bulb which is bright enough for you to organize webinar session. You can always order light bulb from Shopee, it will deliver next day. You must also ensure that when you deliver presentation, at least you face the window, not against the window. It's because then your appearance will look brighter as opposed to presenter seeing a shadow of you. So that's one tip. So the third point concerns when presenter is in a room, you have to make sure that you do a test run first to ensure that there's no echo. I've attended webinar session when the presenter is in a room without no window. So when the presenter delivers it, then you can hear the echo-ness. So it doesn't appear professional on part of the speaker. So with regards to the internet connectivity, it is good if the speaker, him or herself, can perform a speed test first to ensure that during that time, the internet data speed is fast and enable the presenter to deliver a webinar session. So you can always use your search engine and then type speed test, and you can just select and then ensure that it is in a good performance. There are also tips with regards to delivering webinar session where you need to close your window to ensure that that particular area or surrounding is quiet. Even for myself, I'll close all windows, I'll close all the sliding doors so that when I deliver a session that no one can hear the sound of truck or motorcycle or aeroplane, so it won't affect the webinar session. And lastly, with regards to mobile phones, be mindful, although it's on vibration mode, if you put it on the table, the audiences can also feel the vibrationness when your phone vibrates. So try to ensure that your mobile phone is silent first, and you place your mobile phone at least on your lap or not on the table, which is same as your laptop. Because if it vibrates every 5 seconds, it can interrupt the delivery of your presentation without you realizing it. So tips number 6 concerns the use of webcam as well as microphone. Most of the laptops comes with a built-in microphone as well as webcam. So please ensure that your voice projection is clear. Otherwise, you can always consider purchasing microphone because it is closer to your mouth. So then the voice projection will be much clearer. So I bought this on Shopee because when I deliver online lesson, if it rains, so at least students can still hear me clearly. So invest in a good wireless microphone because this will also avoid when you present, your earphones will move or get tangled. It can become some sort of distraction. And lastly, test your webcam to ensure that it projects high quality images. So on the next slide itself, if you use Zoom, there's an option where you can select group HD video so that your images will become high quality for the audience to see. If it takes up a lot of data, you can also turn off this option. So tip number 7, with regards to the eye contact. So you have to ensure you know where your built-in camera is. And when you deliver your presentation, try to look at the lens itself because this is how you sustain the interest of the audience because there is an eye contact between the presenter as well as the audience. There are a lot of lawyers out there which I've observed. When they present, they are looking down or they're looking up. So when, as an audience myself, I want to feel connected with the presenter, but then I can see the presenter is like distracted with the environment or not sure where the camera is located. So it's good if you can practice looking at the lens because sometimes I know it is pretty uncomfortable if you're not familiar staring at one particular location, but trust me, it is worth it. So make sure you also position your laptop at a correct height. What I've done is exactly like the image on the screen itself. I place few textbooks to ensure that the camera lens is at the same level as my eye. So then you can able to see a good projection of myself presenting. There are some instances where presenter placed it too low, so we can only see like jaw up, and then there's a lot of space of the ceilings. You can see the fan, so it won't appear as professional. So if you can place it at the correct height, then it will become more effective. Tips number 8, make sure you pace your delivery of your presentation. Essentially, it means that try to avoid speaking really fast, because I know most presenters, they have so many knowledge, they have so many things to share, but filter your presentation, just select whichever that is necessary for that particular webinar session. Because if you speak too fast, as an audience, it will be very difficult for us to capture everything what has been shared. This is something that I'm still learning, because I tend to do the same thing as well. So I always remind myself, Sophia, please make sure you pace your delivery. Tips number 9 concerns the projection of your slides. Some presenter, when they present it, they will share their screen, but it will look something like this. They will present the whole way without actually clicking the projector icon. So if the host keeps saying, please project your slide, please project your slide, essentially it means that you have to click the projector icon at the bottom of the screen so that the entire slides will be projected on the screen itself. So essentially tip 9 is actually the last tip. So my final word is that give your best when it comes to delivering your presentation virtually. Try to adopt few tips that have been shared, because participants do appreciate the effort placed by the speakers themselves. But sometimes things can go wrong. It's okay. Just accept that things might not work out as you planned. Just remain calm and keep on smiling throughout the presentation. So I hope that the tips shared with all of you have been insightful. And please feel free to ask me any question, and I'll be very happy to assist with your inquiries. Take care.